Hey guys, this is Rhys from the Vanguard team at Manor Realty. We've had a huge problem with the Ontario Landlord Tribunal for a long time now. Since 2021, it got super bad. And now it's at a point where, people are losing, landlords are losing over $1 billion a year with the tribunal. However, there is hope. British Columbia recognized recently that they were in the same position as Ontario, that the tribunal was broken and it was rewarding the bad tenants and the bad landlords instead of the good tenants and the good landlords, because they simply can't process their files fast enough. What British Columbia recognized is that the vast majority of motions brought in front of the tribunal are for renters' non-payment of rent. If you think about it, that's pretty simple. Hey, pay rent. I haven't paid rent. Okay, here's your notice for non-payment of rent. Do we really need to go in front of a tribunal to work on that? I don't need a tribunal to tell me I'm owed rent. So what British Columbia did is they flipped the script 180 degrees. So if you haven't paid rent as a renter, you can't then go through the system and play the game and stretch it out 7 to 11 months. You now have to prove that you've paid your rent. And you can't use the excuse of, oh, well, I got space aliens in my attic. I've got cockroaches all over my bed, and that's why I haven't paid rent. You can't use those excuses in British Columbia anymore. You've either paid rent or you haven't. And you have to prove that to the tribunal. If you have paid rent, then you get your hearing. And if you don't want to pay the landlord, that's fine. You can pay your rent into the tribunal and they'll hold on to it until the dispute's resolved, one way or the other. But you're going to pay your rent in British Columbia. And if you don't, you got to get out, and you've got to get out within a very reasonable amount of time. It is literally like a month and a half, which it kind of should be. If you're not paying your rent, we're already on slim margins, right, with profits. Here's the other awesome thing that happens, though, in British Columbia now that they've done that, is they've reduced their waiting times over 50%. And dropping like a stone, because new applications are not coming in as fast as they were. So the whole system is freeing up. And guess what? Now the good tenants are getting justice with bad landlords because they're getting heard quickly. So heaven forbid you're a good tenant and you're in an awful situation where you've got a leaky roof and you've got mold growing and your kids are coughing with respiratory illnesses from the mold. And oh my God, now those people are getting heard within a very short period of time in British Columbia instead of 7 to 11 months, which is untenable, right? So all of a sudden, by removing all of those cases that aren't really cases, if you haven't paid your rent, you haven't paid your rent, right? This is a capitalistic society, guys. You do a deal, you buy soap. You can't just walk out of the store with the soap. You have to pay for it, right? It's no different from paying your rent. And so by getting all of that gunk out of the system, now the good landlords are able to more freely go after bad tenants. Let's say you've got a tenant that's kicking holes in your walls. You're now getting heard in weeks, not months, not quite frankly a year. And it's the same thing for the tenants in the example I just gave of, leaks and molds, right? So guys, the good news is there's a petition for this. And I'm going to post it below, and you can sign up for the petition. They've already had over 41,000 signatures. At that point, it will get heard. They're trying to get it over 50,000, but Dougie Ford, the premier, tends to be pretty good about listening. So with everybody continuing to sign that petition, including us, let's do it. Let's get that out there, and let's get this solved, because the solution is there. British Columbia is doing it. Let's get involved, guys, and let's do it ourselves. Okay, so the link's going to be below. Please sign the petition, and let's get her done. I'm Rhys from the Vanguard team at Manor Realty. Talk to you soon.